Sit, Arpit. Sit.
Hmm.
So tell us something about yourself.
Sir, my name is Arpit Verma. I did my schooling from Lucknow.
You are from La Martiniere?
No, I am from City Montessori School.
Okay.
Manaya branch. And then I did my engineering from IIT Roorkee. Straight away I went for MBA from IIM Calcutta. And I did 1 year job at Bharti Airtel. And since then I am preparing for UPSC.
Oh, so in Bharti Airtel, what were you doing?
Sir, I was in basically customer service development. But as I spent just 1 year, so I was doing like multiple roles because training was involved. So I did sales also, customer service also.
So why is BSNL doing badly?
What, sir?
Why is BSNL doing badly?
BSNL doing?
Badly.
Sir, BSNL is doing badly because I feel they are not lean and efficient as a private organization. Because of too much manpower, less requirement, and the government should basically should privatize BSNL or should make it more lean and efficient. That's all.
So lean is the issue, or is there some other issue also?
So there are operational issues also, which I feel like with this telecom works on networks. These operational expenses are a major problem with BSNL and MTNL because the towers that they operate, there are various like diesel problem is there, some maintenance problems are there. These operational expenses are too much, which make them less profitable. If they can maintain these operational expenses.
So is it because of corruption or is it because of inefficiency?
I would not say it is because of both. Maybe not corruption at higher level, but at lower level people indulge in such things which these private organizations are not fully but are somewhat able to control.
Pilferage of
because these operational costs are too high in telecom sector, sir.
So I think last time when you came, we talked about the net neutrality, no?
How is it that we're going to convert the solar energy into electrical energy?
Sir,
how is it that we're going to convert solar energy into electrical energy?
So, sir, there are basically two technologies, solar thermal and solar photovoltaic. We are basically focusing on solar photovoltaic cells, which is you place mirrors, then those mirrors catch solar energy and you concentrate that beam at a particular place. That is solar thermal, sorry. So that is solar thermal. And solar photovoltaic is there are mirrors which there are some materials which directly fall on them.
Now, what are those materials?
Sir, I am unable to recall at this time. There are very specific names actually. Right now, I'm not.
Helium arsenide?
Helium arsenide, copper.
Okay. Now, when you're going to talk about this so-called solar thermals, then do we have a plant based on solar thermals on this so-called on this approach that is called as a heliocentric approach, sun-centered approach? Do we have any plant based on that?
Sir, I'm not sure, but I think in Rajasthan we are making this solar thermal plant.
Making it, or we already have it?
We already have it.
In Rajasthan? In Rajasthan?
It's
in Gujarat. That is in Gujarat.
That above canals.
No? That's in Bhuj. That's in Bhuj. We'll change the topic. Nuclear energy, there are two approaches. One of them is a pressurized heavy water reactor, conventional fission, and the second is going to be called as the dynamic fission approach. There is a fast breeder reactor approach. What's the basic difference between both of them?
Sir, in fast breeder reactor, in pressurized heavy water reactor, we need those
In conventional fission
conventional fission.
and fast breeder, differentiate it. What exactly is the difference?
Yes, sir. In conventional fission, sir, the neutrons that are emitted, we need those rods to control the neutrons.
Rods.
That material we use, graphite, we insert those, I'm not getting the name right now, we insert those rods to control the
Are you talking about cadmium? Are you talking about boron?
No, breeder, I'm not sure, sir, but we control those neutrons via rods.
Heavy water is used in a conventional fission for what purpose?
Sir, I'm really not sure.
Okay, come to fusion.
Fusion is theoretical, sir. Fusion we are not employing right now anyway.
But how does it go to work? Is it that we have prepared any type of model type, prototype of reactor by way of which it can go to think, or we can go to think of getting it worked out? What are the 2 models or 3 models that we're going to be working on with respect to the fusion reactor?
Sir, I really don't know about fusion yet. I think fusion is only on a theoretical aspect, it's only on papers. I don't know whether we have prepared any models on
Forget about the fact. How is it that those will be doing it theoretically also? We are experimenting with it. We are a part of a project called the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, ITER, that is in Ahmedabad. So it's not theoretical at all. And of course, first it is going to be theoretical, thereafter we are going to be implementing it. What are the design difficulties that we are feeling right now with respect to fusion type of
So for
reactor?
fusion, we need a lot of energy to combine 2 hydrogen atoms.
I'm talking about design difficulties. Let me understand all the stages. First stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage for a fusion reactor to become operational.
Sir, in design difficulties, what I can get right now is that too much heat would be generated, so we need something to control that kind of temperature, because fusion will lead to a lot of heat.
Okay, how is it that we are going to be generating this temperature? What are the 2 approaches by way of which we can go to generate this temperature?
So one approach can be through lasers.
Okay, is it that any experimental reactor is working on that?
Sir, I'm little problems.
Okay, second is?
Sir, I can think only of lasers for temperature right now.
Okay, let's change it up. Most of the telecommunication networks, we're going to be using a satellite. These satellites go on to be having some payload. One of these payloads is an antenna. They're going to be having a charge coupled device, they're going to be having a Ku-band antenna, S-band antenna, C-band antenna, upper extended C-band, upper extended S-band, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, which is the one antenna that we are using it for the purpose of reflecting these waves back to the earth?
Like, sir, this K band, KU band in these terms.
Yes. Which is that antenna? Is it KU band?
I don't say this.
Yeah, you worked in Bharti Airtel.
But I don't know how this is. I know that we use different bands like K band, KU band, C band, and because we operate in different frequencies for different technologies. But as such, I don't know which is used.
So, is it that you're going to be using Ku band also for the purpose of telephone, mobile phone operation? No. Okay, we come to management. Right? What's the basic difference between the Japanese and the American form of management?
Sir,
How is it that they are different?
Sir, Japanese focus too much on nitty-gritties, like small, like they would focus on Kaizen, continuous improvement. They would, and Americans focus more on on a macro level. So Japanese work on micro approach, and Americans work mostly on macro approach.
Is that all? Is that all?
So something specific.
No, you have to make something specific. I'm asking you to make it specific.
So
what exactly is the Japanese call their management?
One more difference is that in Japanese kind of management, one thing which is said is that employees are very loyal to their their companies or their firms. So an employee entering into a Japanese firm would treat it as his or her family and would for the most part of her life work there. While in Americans there is no such sentimental attachment to their firms and they are more kind of.
Okay, just in time is the approach of which one, American or the Japanese? Just in time.
JIT.
Yes,
JIT is Americans.
American. Sure. Sir.
You finished it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, I'll pose a small situation. You are collector in a district, and you notice that somebody has put out some pamphlet saying that you pay for the fridge half of the price now, and after 15 days you can collect the fridge without paying anything. So he is basically giving all consumer durables at half the price. The only thing is he is collecting the money 15 days in advance. And after that, after some time, you see even more posters of this fellow coming up. Some people distributing those pamphlets and so on. You tell the SP that you sense that there is something fishy and ask him to look into this. And he comes back and tells you that, no sir, it is all right because I had asked the DSP city and he told me that even he has purchased a fridge. He had paid only 7,000 rupees and he got a fridge worth 14,000, and similarly a TV he paid 5,000 rupees, got a TV worth 10,000 rupees. So there is nothing, no hanky panky in this. Now what would you do?
So first of all, because it is understandable, they have just started it, and this DSP who has got the TV or fridge initially, obviously this is kind of this Ponzi scheme that we see. Initially they will have to make some clients, then only more clients will flow to them. Initially you need to show some success, otherwise how will you get more people to trap in these kind of things, because it is not possible that at half the amount, just 15 days, there is no scheme which will give you so much interest that you will be just it is like kind of he's just doubling the money and giving the equipment also plus earning something also. So on the face of it, it is not a correct scheme. So the point is, I would ask him again that you go and either get this fellow, talk to him, or I will myself go and check what is this, because these kind of schemes, people obviously will be enticed to go, and there would be few success stories also like this DSP, but finally it is going to break and then the administration will be blamed. So it's better that go and check, sort things out.
So how will you check?
So initially, like you said sir, this SP was sent but he came with a positive report. So now I feel either I will call the person who is running the scheme. If we are not able to find someone responsible, then I should go at the office, because there should be some address mentioned on that pamphlet or some phone number given. I would initially I would go as a client. Tell me how you are giving it. Then I would ask him, how will you double it? How is it possible that in 15 days you are tell me also, involve me also in such a good scheme?
Is there a law under which you can proceed? Supposing you do find that there is some hanky panky, is there a law under which you can proceed?
So I don't know specifically some name, but there should be some law in criminal procedure code for cheating. Section 420, sir.
Okay, tell me what is the, you in the marketing, what are all the strategies for marketing?
So very famous ones are ambush marketing, then there's guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing. Then once we talk about predatory pricing, there is also kind of a marketing strategy.
So the predatory pricing, is it kind of, in some situations it is legally banned? Are you aware?
It is ban. But yes, antitrust clauses are there. You cannot charge too less, otherwise competition. But specifically, I don't recall.
So under the competition law, it is one of the unfair practices.
Unfair practices, yes. It is
So
an unfair
it is it's actually not allowed predatory pricing if you are a dominant power, and there is a definition of who is a dominant power. So tell me one thing, in FDI for multi-product retail, is FDI allowed, and if so, how much? And is there a difference between what is allowed for brick and mortar, multi-product retail, and for e-commerce?
For online e-commerce, they have allowed. They haven't allowed. They are talking about allowing, and brick and mortar they have allowed 51%. The previous government, but this government, though they have not retraced it, but they are saying we will not allow this 51% FDI in retail.
Okay.
The order has not been removed, but on the face of it, they are saying we are not going to allow, because they were opposed to it earlier also.
Okay, so where in e-commerce, you said that it has not been allowed.
They are discussing about it.
But how is it that Amazon.com is actually doing?
No, sir, it is allowed, but to some percentage. They are talking about 100% right now. They want to put FDI in e-commerce because it is allowed. That's why they are giving so much discounts to us. They are cutting the prices on the basis of this funding only, which they say that actually there are two aspects in this e-commerce retail. One is it is allowed in technical part. So they say that we are receiving this FDI for our website and our back-end operations, but not for inventory. And what they want is that the FDI should come in inventory format.
So what is allowed is FDI, which is B2B.
It is just which
B2B,
is B2B, yes.
and they are saying that we are actually acting as a marketplace, and there is no B2C.
There is no B2C, and they are wanting it, but people are saying if B2C comes, then this mom and pop stores would go out of.
What is your view? Will it actually happen? Is it good or bad? Is FDI in retail good or bad for the economy?
Sir, it will be very good for the economy, and most of all for us as a customer. First of all, prices will be reduced. That is for sure. Quality will be improved, and those retailers that are worrying that we will lose our job, the small shops we will lose our job. Actually, it is not possible in Indian situations, I can say, because wherever these kind of brick and mortar, this Walmart kind of things are there, they are placed quite outside, in outskirts of a city. And from which we buy from local kirana shops. So they work on credit, they work on trust. These kinds of shops are not gonna go away. And their fear, actually, they would also this.
Have you been abroad?
No, I haven't.
You have never traveled abroad. Yeah, go ahead.
Plus, the quality will also improve. We as a customer would get good quality at a very low prices.
So who all would be winners and who all would be losers? Can you list them up? Supposing 100% FDI in retail allowed, multi-brand retail is allowed.
Some brick and mortar would take hit, that is for sure. But it is not like
No,
they will lose.
Who all, not only this thing. Who all? You said consumer is a winner.
Consumer is a winner.
Who else is a winner?
Government will definitely win.
Government is a winner. Who else is a winner?
The owners of Flipkart, Amazon, and these.
Okay,
Common companies are definitely.
He is a stakeholder. He is a winner. Who else is a winner?
And sir, I feel, suppose I can give example. These small SMEs, if we talk. So suppose you are talking about, but FDI, if they will invest in our SMEs or with our farmers, so they will also win. If big money is gonna come, then they will invest it somewhere.
So the farmers are.
So this these
go ahead. Who else will be a winner? Yes.
Supply chain linkages that we talk about, backward, forward. So backward linkages would happen. In that case, I feel small organizations will.
They will also.
Someone who is making jeans, someone who is making shirt.
Who will be loser?
Loser, because once we move on to e-commerce, it is true that this this conventional
No,
shopping.
we are talking of brick and mortar wholesale.
Brick and mortar wholesale.
Multi
Multi-branding,
retail. Hmm.
They would lose a bit.
Who? Kirana.
Kirana, not Kirana specifically, but these shops, the major shops which are there. Suppose Big Bazaar. If that is a different issue, they also launch their some e-commerce site.
Will Big Bazaar be a loser? In fact, Adani every other day keeps saying that, it should, Adani or Bihani, sorry. Kishore Bihani. He keeps saying that it should be allowed. He obviously cannot be a loser. Why would he not be a loser?
Because what they are doing on e-commerce, he is inventing in a brick and mortar. So small.
He will actually sell out to somebody in a very big way, or he will offer part of his equity to somebody.
Like what was happening with this Walmart and Hadi. They would do these kind of tie-ups actually. They would deal with in wholesale kind of dealing, sir. So in that case, they would do. Some loss will be there to small shops. That is there, but it's not total. FDI.
Tell me, if why is there such a big hue and cry? We are talking of 100% FDI in these sectors. We are even talking of FDI now in defense manufacturing. Why is there such a big hue and cry about increasing from 26% to 49% the FDI in insurance?
This hue and cry is because government feel that our people, these insurance companies would give insurance to too many people, and it's considered. I feel what the thing is that these insurance people sell without giving us proper information. So people being not such an educated society in terms of insurance products and
so
all.
that is why they are against.
My point
My
is.
question is.
Yes,
You are not.
I'm coming in it, sir. So point is, if you suppose you give insurance to too many people, and if they are, then they would not be able to fulfill their commitment, then that could be a problem, sir.
Just tell me, what are the ecological problems that came out after Green Revolution in
Ma'am,
India?
after Green Revolution, the major problem was salinization of soil, plus fertility went down. Then there was because of too much fertilizers and irrigation given. In Punjab, they started growing rice. Rice is basically grown in eastern areas where more rain is there. So it's kind of gave inter-regional imbalances, inter-crop imbalances. Plus, it was not too much use of fertilizer led to declining soil fertility. Too much urea led to more nitrogen in soil, but less of other fertilizers. So the ratio that we want NPK 4:2:1 that got distorted to 8:4:2 kind of thing. So there were major ecological problems.
So, if given the option to reverse this, what would you suggest? How to improve that?
So in Green Revolution, what we did, we just took the help of technology. We never went for structural reform. That was the problem with the Green Revolution. Green Revolution, it was kind of US forced on us, I can say. So what they said is, you don't go for slow reforms. If you want to revive your economy, just give them irrigation where it is possible. Give them fertilizer.
Throughout the country?
It was not throughout the country. That was the problem. So that's why I'm saying these are not structural reform. These were just implementation of technology.
So what is the structural
Yes.
what is the structural reform that you are thinking of, which should have come?
So, sir, maybe we should have at that time, because it was expedient and more prudent to do so. But we should have given irrigation to everyone. So rather than just pumping all the thing in fertile areas, we should have gone for soil improvement program or slow.
We are talking of which year?
When Green in 1960s.
60s. So you you think that we should have gone for irrigation for everyone?
No, I'm not sure what we should have gone, but I'm saying that the problem which green revolution brought was because of too much technology infusion at a very fast rate.
Okay, so if you are to reverse that bad effects, what are the options? What would you like to add on that, okay, we do this and that will be improved? What are the options?
So, for agricultural reforms, I can say like what we are doing now. So, suppose we are, instead of giving random subsidies in urea, now what we are doing, we are neem coating it so that it doesn't go to other industries. Only our farmers use it. We should give more institutional credit to the farmers so that there is no problem. This scheme about soil health card. So this is a good step which should be implemented so that there is no brazen use of only urea. Farmer should know which fertilizer to use. Maybe there is not irrigation at that place because he is there, but at least he would know how much water to use, what fertilizer. We should go for this.
Who will tell them? How would you know? What crop to grow and what not to grow? How much water to give, how much water not to give?
For that,
which fertilizer to give and which one not to give? Who will tell them?
for that state, I think there are demonstration plots where they grow these. They apply these techniques and then they ask farmers to copy these things. So district administration, state administration, agriculture extension schemes are there which demonstrates that these kind of things, if you do, these will be the results. So
and the soil testing facility along with it.
Soil testing facility, actually it is not quite, the network is not wide, so the point is to.
It is.
There every district
It
level
is.
it is there. I think even blocks, many blocks and
And
Bihar.
what else do you want to
Coming
do?
there.
That is all the failure of Punjab, Haryana. You must add on these benefits. That if you are given the option to improve upon it, what will you do?
So I can tell you what I have read about. So I have read about like this system for rice intensification. This SRI I have read about it. So in places where we know that too much water is used and we cannot provide irrigation, then go for system for rice intensification. So we, in this rice intensification, we know don't use that kind of water amount of water. What we do, we plug these. There's some technique we plug these.
Irrigation. It's called drip
Drip
irrigation.
irrigation and sprinkler irrigation?
Drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation is different, ma'am. That is totally different thing. That is like prudent use of water. In system for rice intensification, how they grow it is different. The method is altogether different.
And you can talk about crop combination as well.
Crop combination.
That is that area which is suitable for coarse grains and that area which is suitable for rice. So go on for a combination of that.
Like one thing, crop combination I can say like where they grow rice and fish together. So in this, what they do, so these are additional income
Is
for
this
farmers.
crop combination, right?
This is not crop combination, but this is one type of combination. Crop combination is like you grow groundnut after growing. Like there are various combinations. So if you grow in that way, so your soil fertility is retained at least.
What do you know about micronutrients?
Micronutrients are like zinc that we need in very small quantities, but we are very essential.
Why do you need it?
So we
We need
don't.
to talk about that, isn't it?
Yeah, so in malnutrition we talk a lot about micronutrients. That if even the poor is getting food, but due to this micronutrients there are various problems like anemia occurs.
In soil, if micronutrients, we can follow that.
In soil,
You haven't heard about micronutrients?
I have heard about micronutrients in soil, but I don't know any.
That's all.
Okay. Okay, Arpit.
Okay, Arpit, you wait, we'll call you. जाने से पहले आप कुछ हेयर कट वगैरह करा लें।
आज सब जान के निकले पासपोर्ट पूछते हैं
क्या?
लास्ट के लिए।
ओके। How do you think it went?
सर आज तो अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, कुछ आंसर ही नहीं आ रहा है मुझे।
उनका वाला जो था
न्यूक्लियर भी नहीं आया, फिर कुछ लाइन से ही नहीं आया।
So you know it's like this. Every interview is not going to be equally good. So sometimes there are good days, there are sometimes bad
Then there
days.
will be people like me and say,
एंड आई फील कि वो पता होना चाहिए, आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा सर कि कहाँ पे प्लान्स हैं। फ्यूजन तो सर आई थिंक पेपर हो।
I'll let you know that once that is over, come on to that part.
So now, but you know what happened is that, so basically we told you last time also, we rated you very high, we gave you 75%. How much did we give?
I got a blank page sir and he was saying कि उन्होंने कुछ लिखा ही नहीं उसको।
Yeah, हम लोगों ने तुमको, but your feedback was, I think we rated you at 75%. I don't know.
It was in your board, sir. It was in your board.
मिश्रा साहब थे शायद।
नहीं अजय कुमार सर।
अजय कुमार थे, तो हो सकता है लिखने में रह गया हो। So, but basically you had done very well last time. Now, as far as my questions were concerned, I would say one thing. Your knowledge was very sound, and I am glad that on Bonsai scheme or on that scheme, you said that there is something wrong here, because now that Snapdeal and sometimes Flipkart, somebody is saying that they have so much discount. People think that this could have been right, and that's why I was saying the handbills he is distributing and it's in the district. So you have to recognize that there is a problem here. And the more you delay, the bigger will be, because it works entirely in allowing this scheme to build over a period of time by word of mouth and by this. So that once it is big enough, he will just collect all the money and then he will run away. So you should find out, you should tell him, and even Consumer Protection Act has a provision under which he can be booked. Because once you look at his method, you have to ask him what is your business model. How will you supply at half the price?
One of the things is from administration side, we should look into his papers.
Licenses, tax,
To
this thing.
substantiate that. You are from administration, so who is going to stop?
है ना? So those things
Only by
actually.
asking him is not fair. You have to look into the papers, from where he's getting the supply, the tax paid or not, like that.
And also whether he has the license for sales, right? Retail there is a restriction he may not have. But anyway, I think broadly you were right. Where you went wrong, I think, was two things I felt, because these were all on insurance. You were I think completely off the.
Actually I wanted to tell you something about insurance, but फिर वो clarity नहीं आई मेरे को।
Because insurance money is all long-term fund, and it can be deployed for a number of infrastructure projects, and therefore there are reservations that if it is an FDI, then on its deployment the government would not have enough say, and this and these would be insurance funds are on the huge money, which is long tenure fund. See,
But what is the problem sir if FDI is coming?
the problem is that you want it to have a full say in where to deploy. I mean, those who are arguing, I personally feel that there is no argument, in the sense that if in telecom you can have 100%, whereby just introducing one small software, all your conversations can be tapped, and in going forward, even your business transactions can be interfered with, your smart grids can be interfered with. There you are allowing 100%. There is no justification in my mind in restricting to 26%. Of course, now the bill has been passed. But their argument was this. The argument of left parties was this. The other thing where I felt you went very wrong, and where I would say a structural reform in your approach is structural reform in agriculture.
सर एक्चुअली मैंने पढ़ा है ये कहीं पे
नहीं आपने पढ़ा है मगर you know if you do not know what is structural reform how can you say
वन मोर ऑफ कि मैंने वो यूएस वाली बात नहीं करनी चाहिए थी वो मुझे लगा बहुत गलत था
वो
यूएस
तुमने
फोर्स वो मैं मुंह से निकल गया नहीं चाहते कोई
so at that is why I am saying that there is need for a structural reform in your approach. Don't speak out things in a hurry because you know you can otherwise do very well. You can otherwise do very well. Your risk is that you should not mess it up by this kind of answer. Because you said structural reform. When I asked you which structural reform are you talking of, you had not one to suggest.
Yes, that time was blank.
So this is because then what happens is then that makes one think that are you shallow? Now supposing that happens early in your interview, because factual knowledge is one part of it, but here you are talking of policy prescription. You are saying that this is the policy prescription. You are coming up with that.
But was it correct, sir, that we lacked structural reform?
I don't know.
I also don't know.
Because I knew one thing. There can be a lot of arguments today with the hindsight. Because it in the dots is 1960. But 1960 we didn't have enough food to eat.
That was the problem. That's why
So you had to immediately see what are your solutions. So I think that is, I think uninformed criticism can be there. But unless somebody studies this in depth, since you suggested structural reform, I asked you the question, what is the structural reform you are talking about? And you had no answer to that. So whether anybody knows this or not, but if you had said, you should know. And if you had tried to bluff it, that we would have figured out. Because, somebody can say structural reforms in terms of land reform. Somebody could have actually said as a policy on fertilizer, use of fertilizer, use of various inputs. In terms of irrigation, there can be different approaches. But at that time, you could not have provided suddenly irrigation. Even today, you don't have irrigation for the entire land. So that time, that concept was very simple. The concept was meet the food shortage of the country. So what would you do? You would go to those areas where your strength is high. So those which were already doing well, only those states were selected. By and large, that's how it went.
And there we spent all our money and we gave all our
And focused on that. That is broadly the strategy I figure out. I never worked in agriculture myself, but this is what I.
One reason was the controlled irrigation could be provided in those areas. So the fertilizer, the seed, won't go
Exactly.
damage. So the controlled irrigation
Was very important.
Yes.
So wherever those strengths were there, those were done. So, but the change in your approach is don't use a word on a policy prescription for the government unless you are sure what you are talking about. Because there one wrong answer can actually pull you down. Otherwise, I personally feel you did very, very well.
My job is to be a bit harsh. Do you feel bad?
No, I feel good.
Okay. Why? You suggest me yourself. What went wrong with all of this question and answer session between us?
Sir, I didn't know the basics. In fact, nuclear I read, I was unable to recall, but this solar, I never knew where the plant is.
The factual part, if you don't want to know, that is not a problem. That is not a problem. But then giving a wrong reply is a problem. Saying that it's in Rajasthan. Rajasthan we have a solar pond, which is where we're going to have the first heliocentric approach-based plant in the entire of Asia. That's in Bhuj. It's the first plant ever on this approach was based in Paris. Paris, France.
Okay.
They're in France. And second was in California. Both of them are made Indian regions. And of course, Gujarat is known for its sunshine. Of course, helium arsenide, this is something that you could have known. Three materials that are being used right now. Helium arsenide goes on to be the most efficient of all in making these solar panels. But again, actual part I am not concerned with. A differentiation of the breeder reactor and the conventional reactor, you give again a wrong reply. Right? Cadmium and boron rods are going to be used in a breeder fission reactor, not exactly in a conventional fission reactor. Conventional fission, it's heavy water that is going to be used both as a coolant as a moderator, while in a breeder fission reactor it is going to be used as a coolant. While for a moderator, it's the cadmium and boron rods that are going to be used there. Graphite also. Graphite can be pressurized as a water reactor. Nuclear fission, of course, you are electrical engineering, so I kept on asking questions from that associated with that subject there. We do going to be having an international thermonuclear experimental reactor, and it's based in Ahmedabad. We are experimenting a lot on that part. And of course, we'll be able to come out with it. Two approaches are there. One of them is laser bombardment, and the second is going to be called as magnetic confinement approach or a tokamak reactor. That's a Russian approach.
Yes, I never heard.
Two approaches.
I knew temperature can be raised to lasers, but
Tokamak is the approach on which we are following this reactor in Aditya reactor in Ahmedabad. Then we are talking about just in time. This is a Japanese approach, not an American. And you went to
For an MBA, I think that
Yes,
was.
and you gave with a prompt reply, American. And I said, okay.
That is when you handed over.
Now,
And that is Toyota model, incidentally. This just in time was implemented in Toyota car manufacturing.
I said, do we employ this in this Marutis also? I think we call
Now just in time is all the automobile industry and entire electronics manufacturing. All of it is using, and so the inventory is never held by the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer. Inventory is always held by his suppliers. And when the tray is ready, if you see an automobile factory, when the tray is ready, that time that product will be, and sometimes the inventory is actually kept in the same premises, but in the name of the supplier. A little bit wrong.
And sir, was I correct in that when I said this FDI? Because I think what I know is this only that in this e-commerce, FDI is allowed, but they say that we are allowing in technology, but they actually give it in the form of discount.
But you were right, but the correct way to put it is that 100% FDI is allowed in e-commerce, but only as B2B. So that is why so therefore, actually they have to therefore pretend that it is all marketplace, and they are not directly selling. So if you ask Snapdeal, you read the interview of Snapdeal CEO, you would always say, we don't sell, we're just a marketplace.
But then why do you give discounts?
So these are all the questions, and this is what Bayani says, that it is only an accounting. In fact, he gave a statement 2 days ago in Economic Times, exactly this kind of argument. This is only an accounting
I stated that only. But then why Bayani is favoring this? It will be a loss.
No, Bayani wants 100% FDI in the brick and mortar, because
Which is 51 right now.
which is 51 right now, and even 51 is not really permitted because it's not
they
being
have said
allowed.
we will not allow. Yes.
So what will happen is, if it is allowed, then Bayani will probably offload part of his equity at a very high cost, and he will be able to inject funds in his operations.
So non-access will.
now, of course, at this level and your level is inexcusable. And I think I'm talking about your personality. That is, you seem to have developed a habit of giving a prompt reply, right? More, because you may have been interacting with a good number of business teams, not exactly in an intellectual atmosphere. So whatever you said, that was taken, and that is what may have made you to acquire this type of habit. Correct?
So I should wait basically.
Obviously, you have to wait. You have
Pause,
to think, and
pause
then.
and think. Don't use a, in a hurry. Don't make a, you rest assured that you can make it to IAS. Your only thing is you have a possibility of messing it up yourself by some wrong electrons. So therefore, just pause and नहीं आता है क्या तो नहीं आता है. That's not a big deal.
But जब इतने क्वेश्चन नहीं आता है तो सर गड़बड़ है. कुछ भी नहीं आता है.
नहीं, अगर नहीं आता है तो फिर नहीं आता है.
Let's say, see,
Doesn't matter.
the strength of your personality will be that you are asked 15 questions and you say कि नहीं आता है और तब भी मिलता है. That's the strength of your personality.
इसलिए क्योंकि there will be 5 members. If one member chooses to put you through a stress interview, the others are also human beings. After some time, they will try to understand. You have already been put through stress. Now they will judge you after stress. How are you performing? So they will not put again stress questions, because their objective is not to put you down. Their objective is to assess your personality. So somebody has put you through a stress. That means now they'll ask you normal questions. You are already under stress. They will see how resilient you are, how quickly you can come back to your normal position. So you do not have to worry. If 15 questions you don't know the answer, you say, because I don't think that that is going to be a very but not to mention that this area you now read it up.
Yeah,
when is your interview?
25th June, sir.
So you still have time. At least this area you read it up. I think on your MBA thing you are on a fairly good solid wicket. Sociology we don't know. We are not in a position. Even last time I think you were not really questioned on sociology.
Ma'am asked, but not very not specific questions. It was a general, not
General. On sociology you need to check up. I think that is one area.
But sir, if you would have asked, like, what would you have asked? I'm just.
I don't know. I don't know what
suddenly?
to ask. You can ask.
Now to ask you something associated with sociology and with your background, the one question will be about demographic dividend. That's one. Second will be the new type of gated communities and the lifestyle. How does it going to impact the market? The impact of the urban sprawl on the retail behavior of the people. These are the questions that could have been asked.
Sociology, I think I'm good, sir. Because in Najiram also they asked.
You told us last time also. I think we asked you. You said you have done your paper also very well.
Yeah, and social. I think I can handle.
So you just
In case of
avoid.
my question, sorry.
Ah,
In case of my question, the fertilizer which is applied to agriculture is the macronutrients NK. Then there are micronutrients which are molybdenum, zinc, and calcium. Now the more you use these macro, the micro is not renewed. So what happens? Time comes when they are completely depleted. These micronutrients are trace elements, but they are must essential for the plant. There's some things say zinc or molybdenum, they help the stem to grow, some fruits to grow, some help the plants to make their food, and something like that. They are micro, very less in amount, but then they are not renewed. So what happens? A time comes when these micronutrients are completely depleted and the soil becomes stale. So the productivity for which we aim, that takes a beat, and the soil is no more utilized. That is.
Actually, your so-called confidence will be your greatest enemy. I hope that doesn't come into being, because right now also you went to say that sociology I'm very comfortable with, I don't have a problem. And you don't know what is the problem that can go into being.
able to say
You can
something.
want to
It would be
fumble
not
anywhere.
wrong.
You have to manage that fumble. That is what is your personality. You can want to fumble anywhere, right? You're going to wait for 45 minutes of time. I'm going to test you in sociology, right? And I will make it sure that you are not able to answer even one single question out of it. Right? How do you manage it? That will go to what will matter. Not exactly that you're not able to answer questions on that. Right? So, confidence is good, but then taking certain things for granted is not at all good. Okay?
So basically सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर पढ़ लो, सोशियोलॉजी पे पढ़ लो, ये जो तुम्हारा इलेक्ट्रिकल से रिलेटेड जितनी चीज़ें हैं उन सब पे पढ़
Sign
लो,
it, give it to
है ना? So that you are prepared for your subject.
I sign it.
You sign and give it, huh?
I sign it. This side. Sir, this was last time was better than this.
Last time wasn't better than this, but you also yourself also realized that.
Yeah, last time.
But that doesn't mean anything. You see, you are saying in terms of answering questions, how many you have answered, that doesn't matter really. And certainly 5 or 6 questions you don't know, that is not going to decide whether you are in or not. How, each question, after it is over, if you have not answered, just forget about it. Move on to the next one. When you toss a coin, the chances are half. Now this time if it is head, next time when you toss the coin, the possibility is again only half. The probability doesn't change, no? It is exactly the same. Every other next question creates an equal probability for you to be selected. Your probability overall has not changed. And so you continue to perform to the best of your ability. Don't get ruffled. That's important.
So this time, like, how many marks? I don't know. Last time they couldn't give me the feedback also.
But to me, you are still 70%.
Otherwise, it's okay. It's maybe.
Okay. All the best. Go confidently.
I didn't get that. You asked me something.
I was just asking everybody. Otherwise, overall, it's okay. Or
Yes. Overall, okay in the sense that your personality is okay, presentation is okay, you are present, you are smooth, you are confident, sometimes overconfident, sometimes even more, right? This is a characteristic.